Hello and welcome to another update video about FTM. Not a coin I analyze frequently, but I think it's time for an update. I don't analyze it frequently because I don't like the chart. It just doesn't give enough clarity, and it is, to me, a three-wave rally into the March highs. So it's potentially not bullish, okay, so it could be bearish. There is a wave count that we could apply here from a bullish perspective, as I mentioned before, but it requires the price to hold 36.8 cents. That's support, but the way it's dropping like a stone. So it is actually possible that it's following my yellow count here, which is obviously that bearish perspective. Yeah. We have on this chart, as per the yellow scenario, and that's also always what I've highlighted on this chart, a 5-wave move to the downside, which is not bullish, into the October lows, and then a 3-wave rally from there. So this is one possible interpretation for confirmation. I mean, that basically meant up here was the risk was very high. We talked about that. And the idea was also that in both counts, now we go a bit lower, we do that. And I will tell you what we now need to see. I think it's worth, because of that yellow wave count possibility, it's worth to be short-term bearish until the price breaks certain levels. We're going to talk about that. So it's possible that this third wave is now unfolding. The thing is, the move down was in 3 waves, so it's not clearly bearish. So therefore, you know, it's not all lost, but the yellow count is definitely a possibility. Where would that yellow third wave take us? So if the wave 2 really already topped, which is the bearish perspective, then we should see the price come down. I'd like to say at least 5 cents. Now, it might sound ridiculous, so we'll see. I mean, I'm not saying this will happen. I'm just saying, okay, look, this is a projection. Yeah, this is a projection. And if the market cannot break above certain levels that we talk about now, you have to keep that in mind, even if it's just for risk management purposes. But we can also watch the white scenario. So let's maybe talk about the current trend, which is clearly down. Yeah, which is clearly down, but it's only a 3-wave move down. This also looks more like 3 waves. So the yellow count isn't guaranteed, but the trend is clearly down because we're forming lower lows and lower highs. Yeah. Last update was, I think we were in the resistance area or so, and I highlighted to you that in both scenarios we should really go lower. We've now arrived at a point where in the white count we could start to see a bit of a reaction here to the upside. And I will tell you what I need to see. So first of all, we can add this corrective price channel. This will be an indication of where the price might find support. So what we do, we connect the top with the top of the B wave, and then we go to the low of the A wave with a parallel line, and that could give us at least an area where the price could find support. So if the price hits that trend line, pay attention to it. This is just an area of support, not super reliable. If we then see a break above the corrective price channel, I think that would be a good indication that a low is actually formed. If this is the correct count, that we have actually, that we're forming a 4th wave to the downside. Now let's talk about the bullish count. Bullish count means we would have to be in a diagonal pattern. So we have 3 waves up in wave 1. We have a wave 2 that's actually looking like a 5-wave move, but we can give it the benefit of the doubt. And then we have a 3rd wave up, and this would be a 4th wave pullback. And then from here, a 5th wave could emerge. But a 4th wave ideally doesn't break below 36.8 cents. Now, very important message. This wave count in white will not be invalidated below 36.8 cents, but it will become less probable. Yeah, because a 4th wave would normally not break below the golden ratio level, below that 61.8 retracement. It easily could, yeah, it easily could, but it normally shouldn't. So this is all about should, right? It's all about likelihood. And probabilities will shift more towards the yellow count below 36.8 cents. That's like a pivot between the two. Unfortunately, because in the white count we're dealing with a diagonal, that's not like a very clear pivot, because if this move up was an impulse, we would have a very clear invalidation point. The problem is, because it is a diagonal, yeah, there are certain levels to watch, but if they break, it's not invalidation. So that white count might stay on the chart and the wave 4 might be quite deep. But either way, in both scenarios, the trend is still down. and I can give you let's say the earliest signal. What would be the earliest signal that something more bullish is playing out? So at the moment I see a wave 1 to the downside in a possible C wave, a wave 2 corrective rally, a third wave down. That allows me now to add a resistance area. So we've got the price channel. The price channel is quite large. So what we can add is a possible resistance area, like I did here. So I did at the time also tell you that if we can break above resistance, it would be a sign that this wave count is not playing out. But the wave count did play out. So also here now we can say, okay, what would be the earliest signal that a low is in place? Because if we can get a break above resistance, it would indicate that something more directly bullish might be playing out. That this would only be the first signal, right? But here we talk about 60 to 68.7 cents. So any break above that area would indicate that we might have already struck a low. That's all I can say at the moment about Fantom. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, and please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.